Good. Okay, my name is Paul Corder. I'm with Perfect Golf Event, and today we're going to talk about fundraising contests. If you've attended some of my other webinars, yesterday we talked about how to sell sponsorships, and we talked about golf event formats. So today we're going to focus on some of the contests and activities in the events. A couple things. First of all, thanks for coming. Second of all, I'll be glad to send you a copy of the presentation afterwards. So if you want to write down my email address, it's Paul at Perfect Golf Event. Just send me an email, and I'll be glad to send you a PDF of all the slides so you don't have to worry about copying everything down. We tend to go quickly because everybody has busy schedules, so I'll try and slow it down a bit. And if you have any questions, there's a place to enter questions, and at the end I'll look at that and answer any questions that you have. So again, thanks for coming, and let's get started. When you're talking about a fundraising event, obviously there's two areas that we're looking at in terms of contests. One is we're trying to attract players. And you have to remember that golfers have many options for going to a golf event. There's about 300,000 charity golf events. And depending on what market you're in, there may be multiple events on the same day as your event. So you're trying to set up an event that's going to be attractive. You want to create the right atmosphere from the minute they come to the course and the time that they leave. You want to make it a memorable experience. What you're trying to do, in addition to raise money, is have a great event, but you want people to come back the following year and say, hey, that was really fun. There were a lot of interesting things there, things they talk about with their buddies, and say, hey, I want to play with that game at an event. So your key here is creating an environment that's a lot of fun and also helps you raise money. In terms of sponsors like to support contests. They get more visibility and they get more recognition. They have a chance to interact with the players. For my events, if I have a putting contest, I have my putting contest sponsor help with it. That way he gets to meet the players. He's going to be a long drive or close to pin sponsor. He may be on one of the holes. And it just gives them the opportunity to be maybe more visible than just strictly being just like a gold or silver or whatever you call some of their other sponsorships. The good news is sponsors are important to covering the cost of the contest we're going to talk about. And so that provides a profit to your event and you raise more money. So the formula is you have the contest, you sell sponsorships to the contest, and then that you make money off of that, and the players get to be entertained, and you also charge the players for some of the contests. Again, the goal is to give a great atmosphere, excitement, and raise more money for your organization. And I usually cover this in any of my webinars just to make sure as you're getting ready for 2019 that you've put together the right financial plan. And what I mean by that is you take a look, if you had an event last year, plug in all your 2018 results and put in your goals for 2019, and we'll see there's lots of contest sponsors in this list. And same thing with your expenses. What is the cost for these different things? So you want to start before you start any event, when you sit with your committees, let's go through what happened last year. If you have a new event, you're going to put together your goals, and then you'll be able to evaluate next year your results versus those goals. But I'm very much into setting goals and measuring very specifically by contest. So you want to set goals and say, how much do I want to make? If I'm going to have a putting contest, how much did I make last year? How much do I want to make this year? And how am I going to make that happen? So that's where you're taking a look at each step. If you had a putting contest or a chipping contest or a raffle or an auction or a shootout or whatever it is, you're going to take a look at what happened prior year, and then you're going to say, how can we improve on that and set a goal? Because you have to work against specific goals to be successful. Your goal is to get more revenue from the players and the sponsors. So, traditional events, and I look at a lot of, we probably have a couple thousand websites up already for this year for events. And I look at a lot of them, and traditionally they'll have, player fees and they'll have sponsorships. What we're trying to do is get you to think about all the other things that you have expanded opportunities to make additional money during your event, either from sponsorships or by player participation or both. And so we'll talk about those as we walk through this. But the goal is increasing your revenue by adding more things to your event. And remember, when you add contests, it creates many more sponsorship opportunities. This is an event that I manage in Florida, and you can see we had a $100 million shootout sponsor. We had hole-in-one sponsors, a whole bunch of them. We had putting contest sponsors. So the more contests we added, the more sponsors we were able to sell And that's important as you're working with your particular event. What When you're laying out the day, and this is what's important, we're going to go through a lot of contests today, and you're not going to be able to do all the contests. Obviously, we're going to talk about. You're going to have to pick and choose the ones that appeal to you, but you want to set up your flow for the day. So you want to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to have my pre-event marketing. What am I going to have in place before my event to attract players and sponsors? What kind of contests and activities will have people say, you know what, I want to play in that event? What's happening prior to tee off? How are you getting people engaged and entertained while they're waiting to tee off? So they're just not wandering around looking for something to do, because they'll remember that dead time and they won't come back next year. What's happening on the golf course? Will they remember some of the contests? Will they talk about the contest with their buddies? That's important. And then golfers and sponsors were happening. What happens after golf? Are the things happening right afterwards? Or are they just standing around looking at the scoreboard and then going home? Or do you have something there to finish off the event that gathers everybody together that says, hey, that was great, which is usually what I do with a shootout. What I'm going to focus on now, I'm going to get into the contest, but what I work from is this format, and I've used this in some of my other webinars as an example, is just taking a look at your event and saying, if somebody's looking to decide to play in your event or sponsor your event, what's going on? So what's happening before the event, on the course, post-event. And this is probably one of my premier events because we've got so many cool things going on with a guaranteed winner putting contest. We had a helicopter ball drop, all these hole-in-one contests. We had shootouts. We had beer and liquor stations. We had a taco truck on the golf course. So it's a phenomenal thing. It sold out. I think we had 30 teams, and we netted about $140,000 out of the event. So let's get into specific activities and contests. Now we're going to focus first about the time before tee off. So during the registration process, when they're sitting in there eating either breakfast or lunch, while they're warming up, what should you be looking at? Now, this comes up a lot, and so I want to address it right now. A lot of people say to me, you know, Paul, people are paying a lot to play in my event, so I don't like to charge them for additional stuff. And I always say that's silly. I do an event in St. Louis where it's $10,000 a team to play, and still I sell putting contest entry. I sell a lot of things to them. And the reason is that 75% of the people who come to your golf event haven't spent anything. They come as guests. So somebody's bought a foursome for their business to entertain their clients. So they're coming there with money in their pocket. And your goal is to design a fun way to get that money out of their pockets and into your nonprofit. So don't be embarrassed about having things. Now, there's good ways to do it so you're not nickel and diming people, and we'll talk about that with the super ticket. But don't be shy about trying to generate additional revenue the day of your event. So some of the basic things start with, I'm not always an advocate of mulligans because it slows the round down, but it's a good way to make some money. So if you're not a golfer, a mulligan gives golfers a second chance shots during the event. So if they hit it in the water, they get to take another shot. So you might sell mulligans. You might sell $10 per mulligan. So a golfer can have 2 mulligans during the round to use. If you have 100 golfers, times $20, that's it's $2,000 that just drops to your bottom line because there's no cost to you for mulligans, and people expect to buy mulligans, so you might as well do it. You can set up, again, these are things happening when people arrive at registration, walking around, raffle tickets, so you can have a raffle package, like this is one that we have in our system or in our shop for a Caddyshack raffle, but you can put together some items for raffles, and you sell the raffle tickets when they come to registration. You might set up a silent auction. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the raffle, you put a sports memorabilia. Maybe somebody's donated nice bottles of wine or dinners, or somebody's got a condo down in Florida or Colorado. So you just have put together a couple of things for a raffle and sell raffle tickets. And since most of the items are donated, and we talked about that yesterday in the sponsorship thing, it's a nice thing to have. And again, it's another way to raise money and have players have some fun. You can also have an auction, and so you can set up an auction site. This is a site that I set up for one of the events that I manage, and we linked it off my Perfect Golf Event website. So I set it up so they could have a chance to bid on things like the Arnold Palmer Experience, where they could go down and stay in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, play golf on Arnold's courses, see his cabin and all that. Or they could do a Kentucky or a bourbon trail bourbon tasting and things like that. So you can you put together some auctions. You can have either some online auction stuff before your event, or you can have things right there during the event, and both. So for these, I had these things online before the event, but we finished the auction items right during the event. We had some silent auction items, and we had a couple of these big things that they could bid on, and we made some additional money. Plus, it was fun for the players. Couple other things you can add. Remember, we haven't even teed off yet. Is a helicopter ball drop. If you haven't done one before, they can be a lot of fun. And basically what you'll do is you'll sell entries to the helicopter ball drop during the registration process. We'll talk about adding it to a super ticket later. But for this event, we sold the golf balls for $100 each. And they were numbered golf balls, so we could come up to the registration desk, say you want to get the helicopter ball drop. They'd buy a golf ball for $100. They could have three for I think it's $3, 3 for $250, something like that. But so then the golf ball was numbered. They would pick the number out. We would write down that Bill Johnson had number 3. We'd take the golf ball and we put it into a bucket that we were going to take up in the helicopter. Then the helicopter comes in. You pin a pin flag out in the fairway because you would never drop the golf balls on the green. But the helicopter comes in, drops the golf balls, and whoever's closest to the pin, the number golf ball closest to the pin, wins the prize. And this event we sold $27,000 worth of entries in the golf ball drop. So we sold them before people got there. We sold them on the website. We sold them when they got there. We sold them to people who weren't even playing golf. And then we had the helicopter come in after golf during the shootout. So the last thing we did was the shootout and the helicopter ball drop, and it was just phenomenal. People talked about it, and they're easy to do. So we posted on the website so people can buy that stuff. Buy the stuff on the Perfect Golf Event website. And so if you haven't done a helicopter ball drop, they're fun to do. If you need help with it, we have a package we put together that we can rent the helicopter for you and give you the golf balls and some other stuff that you need for it. So if you're interested, just contact us later on if you haven't done a golf ball drop. Couple other things again. Now remember, we haven't even teed off yet. We've got mulligans, raffle tickets, got an auction. We may have some helicopter ball drop. We're going to have a putting contest. Usually the putting contest is held prior to the event, and they usually will have it so that the golfers will pay an entry fee to get into the putting contest. And you can have two types of contests. You can have an insured contest where whoever wins the qualifying round gets to take one more putt, and if they make it, they would win tickets to the Masters, for example. Or you can have a guaranteed winner where the person who wins the qualifying round actually just gets the certificate for the prize. Could be a cruise or could be a VIP ticket package. We have a bunch of guaranteed winner contests. But anyway, that's it. So prizes can be whatever you'd like, and they're fun. You want to do a putting contest because not only is it an excellent fundraiser, but it's fun activity for people to watch while they're waiting. Again, they haven't teed off. You just don't want them standing around bored with nothing to do. It's a great sponsorship opportunity. It's another way to raise funds. And again, here's some examples. You can do insured contests like the Masters is our most popular, or you can have a guaranteed winner where you get a certificate for a 7-night resort stay or tickets to a pro sporting event. Then you just give it to the winner at the event of your event. Some events, depending on your time frame, will do a chipping contest, and you can do the chipping contest is really much just like the putting contest. You're going to set up a target on the green. They'll be off the green. They chip. Whoever gets closest out of it or makes it either wins if you have a guaranteed winner contest, or if you can actually have a chipping contest for an insured prize as well. So again, people to be doing before they tee off. And then this is another one that I've started to do. We have a long drive contest, and we do it on the practice range. And what I do is we go in and get the best driver that the course has. They'll get it to me at a good discount. People come up, they pay $10 to hit it. Whoever hit it's the longest, they get the driver as the prize. So it should be, apologize, there's a typo there. It should be there, but they get the prize for winning life. So again, people can go through different stations. They can go to the putting contest, they can move to the chipping contest, they can go to the long drive contest. Now, not every golfer is going to get through all those contests because they may arrive late, but the people who are there in time, you're giving them things to do. Now, One of the things I like to do is I like to take all my contests that are going to have before the event, and I bundle them into a super ticket. So I am charging them for it, but I'm not saying $5 here, $10 here, $20 here. I put everything into a super ticket. And so here's an example of an event we worked with, American Diabetes Association. They put together their super ticket where the person got in an entry into a shootout for $100,000, and they had some other things they got for buying the super ticket. You can bundle the super ticket into anything that you like. So you might include entry into the putting contest, entry into the chipping contest, $1 million shot raffle. There's how we bundle that in. You can put raffle tickets, entry into helicopter ball drop. So if you put enough stuff in there, you can say, hey, why don't you get into this? It includes all the contests for the day. It's $50 or $100. It'll cover all your costs. You'll still sell sponsorships for the different contests, but they just give their credit card or cash for one ticket. Now they get to do all the contests. So I like doing super tickets. And again, because you can customize them any way you want. Here's an event we worked with where, they had an entry into the putting contest, a chipping contest, raffle entries. So it all was one simple thing. And we have artists will help you design the super ticket. You actually have printed copies at the event so people can buy them at registration. Here's another example of an event that did a custom one. And so anything can be customized with super tickets. And here's how you kind of make money, because you can tell you buy the different contests, you sell it as sponsorships, people buy the super ticket, and you end up with your net revenue out of it. So that's really important is what are you going to net out of it? So you can example, here's $2,000 in net, here's $5,000 in net. So it's just an idea of netting some additional funds. But to me, what's just as important of that is that the players have something to do, because we haven't even teed off yet, remember. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. We haven't even teed off. Couple last minute things, contests. I started this one for a couple of events last year, which was kind of fun. And I don't like contests that slow anything down. So on this one, we did an on-course poker contest. And basically what they did is they would enter as a team. So pay $100 a team. And when they got to the par 3 holes, if any member of their team hit the green, they got a card. So if they have a foursome and all 4 players hit it, they got 4 cards on that hole. And so if there's 4 par 3 holes, the maximum they could get would be 16 cards. They're not all going to hit the green. But basically, they just got a card. We had volunteers there with decks of cards. And when they came in, the team that had the best hand in poker split the pot with the charity. It was really great. We sold about $2,000 worth of them, gave $1,000 to the team. The charity made $1,000. People loved it, and it didn't slow anything up. Didn't delay anything. It was just some more fun on the course. A couple other things. I did this in an event this year, and I'm going to do it in a couple more events where I have a golf course that had some water near the clubhouse. We actually set up a floating green, and we had these eco-friendly balls that would dissolve after a while, so they didn't sit in the bottom of the lake forever. And we just had people chip, and whoever got closest to the pin or made a hole in the shot, they win a prize. And it was really a lot of fun. People had really a ball, but you have to have a golf course that maybe has some water right near where all the players are, so it doesn't work. Or you can put it out on the course if you have a hole with water on it, and as they come through, they can take a shot, and if somebody makes a hole-in-one out of it, you have a prize for them. Remember, if you're using Perfect Golf Event, that you can set up all these things on your website so that people can put it into their shopping cart. So they can buy all this stuff when they check out. So you go in the shopping cart, say, I want to register for golf, but I want to buy my mulligans. I want to get a super ticket. I want in a helicopter ball drop. They can do it all during one process. And so that makes it real simple, and it's easy to market and gets people to put their credit card and buy it all at one time. So it's a good way to raise money even prior to your event. And I'll do things like sell tickets to people who aren't even going to be aren't playing golf. So here for that ball drop, I sold this ticket where they could get entry into the helicopter ball drop, but they could also come and have dinner and cocktails. And we put that certificate on the website so non-golfers could come to the reception for X amount of money that we raised. And we had a number of people who bought that to come just for the cocktail party, the shootout, and to watch the helicopter ball drop. Last couple of minutes before we get on the course. these are a couple things. I did this at about 3 or 4 of my events, and it really went well. So I'm going to expand it next year. I worked with the pro at the golf course, and we had a 5-minute swing clinic, and a golfer got individual lessons. So they walked up, and for $20, the pro would work with them for 5 minutes and say, "Hey, before you go out and play today, let's fix a couple of things on your swing. Let's get your grip fixed." And it made people really comfortable going to play in the scramble because not everybody plays a lot of golf. So we set up a tent and had the pro right there doing the 5-minute swing clinic. And we also, it was fun. We just set up a massage therapist, same thing. People could pay $20 for a 10-minute session to get warmed up before the event. So I'm always looking for interesting ways to make money and also enhance the experience of the golfers. Now, remember, you're going to have to pick and choose. You can't do all these things, but as you grow your event, you may incorporate some of them as you go through the process. And remember, if you joined us late, I'll be glad to send you a copy of this presentation so you'll have all the notes. All right. So that's the last thing I did. I only did this for one event, but it worked. We had a local celebrity we brought in, and we actually did a photo op with them. And then we printed the pictures out while the golfers were on the golf course and had the celebrity sign them. And that was kind of fun. All right. So now let's tee off. So when you get in the golf course, now the golfers are going out to play. They're probably overwhelmed by all the stuff that we've done during the day. So they finished their clinic, they've got a massage, they've hit and chipped and putted, bought their raffle tickets, bought their helicopter drop. Now they're going to go play some golf. So we get on the golf course, and at a golf course, there's a couple of things you do. Here's something I introduced last year for a number of events. We called it a golden ticket, and this was where we actually sold this at registration, but it applied to what was on the golf course. What they did is if they bought this, and if they hit the green, they like on this whole number, they would get a $175 pair of shoes. On this one, they get a $95 golf shirt. Here they got $50 worth of golf balls, Pro V golf balls. And for the event I did for this, we charged $200 for the super ticket because the prizes were very valuable. We sold about $15,000 worth of these. And after we end up paying out the prizes for people who hit the green, we netted about $7,500. And it was really fun. Again, didn't slow anything down. We had a volunteer on the hole, to give out the certificates if someone hit the green. So that's what you can do. And it's a fun thing to do. And you can customize the super ticket to fit any budget. I had another event do it, and they only charged $50, but they had the prizes were a little less. Like they could get Pro V golf balls, or a Nike golf shirt, or a $50 gift card to Bread Company. And so you can modify this to anything you want to fit your budget. But it was really a lot of fun. And again, it didn't slow anything down. And I will tell you this, I don't know many events doing it. So I like to find things that people say, wow, that was fun, and I've never seen that at an event before. Now your event will stand out. So you can customize it. Here's one we customize with things from our tournament shop. And I'll send you a copy of this. You can kind of look through it. Okay. On the course, you're going to have your hole-in-one contests. Hole-in-one contests are prizes where people make the shot. They'll win a prize. Could be anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. It could be travel, cars, trips, and it's insured. So the sponsor, you buy the insurance from us for $300, and that covers a $10,000 prize for about 144 golfers. You sell this as a sponsorship. So you don't have players paying for this, but the sponsor, so I'll sell this as a sponsorship for anywhere from, $500 to $1,500, and the sponsor gets recognition, gets signage, all those things. But the hole-in-one contest is for players to enjoy. And you could do lots of different things on hole-in-ones. I encourage people to do things that are really interesting, rather than just doing a car or a 2-year lease, which is a pain. So here's a package we put together with Broadway shows and Napa Valley tours, Las Vegas. We've got my sports package. We got the All-Star Game, the Final Four, Kentucky Derby, or the All-Star Game. And you can set it up so if the winner hits a hole-in-one, they get to pick whichever one of the ones they want to go to. Here's an event Guardian Schools has set up their hole-in-ones with bourbon tasting and freshwater fishing trip and Pebble Beach. So you can do whatever you want. And the cool thing is you can customize your hole-in-one contest. I like this concept, which is depending on where you are, think of something that would be appealing to your local marketplace so your event is different. And give an example. Last year, the Eagles played the Jaguars in London. So we had a hole-in-one contest for a Philadelphia event where if they made a hole-in-one, they got to go to London to see the Eagles play. We also, for that same event, we put together a Flyers or Phillies road trip package. So they had a hole-in-one contest for that. And they also had a chance to go see Penn State at Michigan. So we can customize, depending on where you are. If you're in Alabama, we can do Alabama packages. If you're Texas, we do Texas packages. Doesn't matter. We can customize it. Now, what the organizer liked is they were able to go out on their event and say, come to our event. You could have a chance to see the Eagles in London, go to a Penn State at Michigan, go to Flyers or Eagles. No one else had that in their events. So they were a unique event, and it was really successful. And we just added a cool feature to all our hole-in-one contests called a victory party. So if somebody makes a hole-in-one, we'll sponsor $1,000 cocktail party for them to celebrate with all their fellow golfers and family. Other things on the course, closest to pin contest, that's similar to hole-in-one, except you don't have to put it in the hole. Again, this is a sponsored thing. You want people to sponsor these. You don't have the players pay for it, but you sell it as a sponsorship. And you could do, like cruises or what we call a big ticket, which are sporting tickets. So you have a close to the pin contest, and there's what we call them guaranteed winners, because they could have a close to the pin for resort stay or a Carnival cruise or one of these cruises. This one includes 4 cruise lines, or Universal or VIP. So you could, again, something on the thing, and you sell it as a sponsorship. And remember, that's the key thing that I want you to remember, that sponsors will cover the cost of these contests. If you price it properly, you'll buy the hole-in-one contest, you'll buy the close to pin contest, but you sell it as a sponsorship, and then that helps you make additional money and the players have a better experience. One of the things we did was interesting. We added a thing called a $1 million shot hole, and this one was a different kind of contest, and I think I only know of 2 events that have never done this, and both were mine. We set up a hole on the golf course where the team came by and they picked one player and on their team to take the shot. And if it went in, the team would get $500,000 and the nonprofit would get $500,000. And you could do this for anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, but it was really a lot of fun because, of course, and we sold it as a sponsorship, but people were just hysterical watching a guy take a shot for $1 million and he puts it in the water. We had one guy who put it 2 feet away, so it was maybe a very kind of neat thing to add, and it didn't slow up anything on the golf course. So again, you could do it. It's inexpensive to do it for $100,000 shots, which are still cool. That's for 20 teams. That's $1,500 for every team to get a shot at $100,000, and you'll sell that as a sponsorship all day. You can sell it as a sponsorship for $2,500, so you make a profit and the players have something fun. As you get after the event, we start to get into the $1 million shots and shootouts. So $1 million shot is exactly what it says. Person takes a shot for $1 million. If it goes in, they win. It costs, depending on the number of you do, because I have some events who buy $18 million shots, $225 to $250. It could be a raffle prize. So you maybe you put it as part of your super ticket. Great sponsorship opportunity. You can also do a shootout after the event. If you attended my format session, I talked more about shootouts. But a shootout is where you take a number of players and they come in after the event. You gather everyone around with a beer and some hors d'oeuvres, and they watch people take a shot. And it could be anything from $50,000 to $1 million. And most of the time, the way I'll qualify people for the shootout is I'll have them. It'll be someone that was closest to the pin during the event. So I may take the 4 closest to the pin, and they come in, they shoot for $1 million. And so shootout is something you do after the event, because remember, you want to fill that time after golf is done and finish with something on a highlight. Because then what you're going to do during the shootout is you're also going to bring in your helicopter for the helicopter ball drop. So it's just a wonderful way to finish out the event. And again, you do that you can change your format. I'm not going to get into this much because we covered it yesterday with my format webinar. But here's an event we did where we took 9 par 3. We made 9 par 3 holes and 9 regulation holes. So we moved the tee boxes up in some holes. We had hole-in-one contests on all the par 3s, and then we had the 9 golfers close to the pin that came in, and they were the ones shot for $1 million, and we gave $1,000 to the person who was closest to the pin there. So it was just kind of a fun way to finish off an event. And again, sponsors will cover the cost of the shoot. They love that shootout because everybody's watching. You have signage right there by the clubhouse for everybody can see. So it's a very popular sponsorship. There's lots of these contests, ideas, and things set up. And just go to Perfect Golf Event or perfectgolfshop.com. That has all the different contests, putting, hole-in-one, a lot of them insured, also guaranteed winners. Remember, if you want to decide on your format, that should say 2019, set your website up, add your sponsorships to cover the costs. And maybe if you need a brochure, I can send you sample brochures we've done for other events featuring all that. Get your committee involved, and then feel free to call me anytime or any of my team, and we'd be glad to put together a custom package for you for your event, or give you some more ideas on how the contests do. We've got, one package, which is our most popular tee to green, that has everything. It's got putting contest, long drive, close to the pin, hole-in-one contest, shootout, $1 million shot. It's pretty complete, and you can see that on perfectgolfshot.com. If there's anything I can help you with personally, or if you want to copy this presentation, please just email me at paul@perfectgolfevent.com, and I'll be glad to help. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Have a great event, and I really appreciate your listening. Thank you very much.